Hello everyone, it's Wednesday. Who's out there? I'm here just very excited about everything that happened this weekend, and we're going to talk about that because it's January, and you know what happens January? January is bridal show season. So this year we went to the bridal show, the Canada's bridal show. Let me know if you guys were there. Hopefully you were there. You came by to say hi. It's so funny because a lot of times I'm in places and I catch people staring at me and they don't say anything, or they come up to, they tell me after, like, I think I saw you at the hairdresser, or I think I saw you at the mall. Don't be scared. I am a person. Giuseppe, as weird as he looks with that troll hair, is also a person. So you guys can just come up to us and say hi. We love talking to you guys. We love knowing that you watch us. And we really, really always appreciate you guys watching us. So today, I want to touch upon, hi everybody, I see you saying hi. I want to touch upon a little bit about, I made a post about about bridal shows. I've also written an article about bridal shows. If you'd like, I can post it. I do write an article monthly for Snapped Vaughan. So if you get the Snapped Vaughan newspaper, you will see in there that there is an article there on wedding advice every month, different topics. So I will try to post them. But if you get a chance, pick up a copy of Snapped in Vaughan, and you can read my advice column. So I did do one on bridal shows and how to do a bridal show, because there's a way on how to do a bridal show. It's so funny because we actually got a pretty good booth this year. And what happened was, we were like, you come up the stairs. I don't know if you've ever been to the bridal show, but there's an escalator. You go up the stairs. There's beautiful flowers right when you get there. There's Gita, Creations by Gita at the front. She provided flowers for my booth. So if you saw pictures of my booth or you came by the booth, those flowers were donated to us by Creations by Gita. And so ours is one of the first booths that people went to. And it's funny because people come in and they're all like, you're like the first person who's going to attack them. So me and Giuseppe were like, are we the first people who are going to come attack you? Or we have to like create a joke, because I feel like people made the decision to come. They're engaged. They came there to look for stuff. They came there to talk to people. And then they walk all like, when you go to a store, I'm like this too. So I totally get it. And you go to a store and you see, like, the lady asks you if you need help, or they just say, hey, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. And people just like, and they walk away. So the first question is like, not to be, but why are you coming to a bridal show if you don't want to talk to people? I understand that you don't need everything that's at the bridal show. Maybe you just came to find a photographer, but just be nice to people for many reasons. Like the post that I said, we come there some companies they change up who's working the bridal show for the weekend, but most of us are there on our feet. I tried to wear heels for like at least 2/3 of each day. I was dying. I was tired. My employees were tired. I have blisters. We were eating dinner at midnight. So, we come out. Yes, it is, it's our business. It's what we're supposed to do. But we're there to help you. And, if not just to help, then just to chat, because we don't want to stay there doing nothing all day long. So, yeah, just say hi to people. You know what? What's funny? Here's a good tip. There's a lot of people who we spoke to that had 2 bags. And if you really don't care to talk to someone, you're not interested in their stuff, I know it's a waste of paper, maybe. It might be. When you go home, you might look at it. But there's a lot of people who had 2 bags. One was the, yes, I want to talk to that person. I want to call that person. Yes, I'm interested. And one was the, I'll take your card anyway, just to make you feel good bag that probably is not going to get looked through when I get home. So nobody needs to know, but it's very nice to just take someone's, they put in all their hard work to design this little brochure for you. So when you go home, you can look at it. They never need to know if you didn't look at it. I mean, it's just nice to, I don't know, just make people feel like they're there for a reason. I've saw so many ladies, men at booths just sitting there, scared to talk to people. Not everybody's a salesperson. You might be a florist, but you might not be comfortable talking to people, believe it or not. So just keep in mind that when you go even to stores, people are just trying to do their job. You don't need to be rude. You're the one who came in. So just keep that in mind. But some more tips about going to bridal shows. So you could do the 2 bag thing. Do get the scanners. because a lot of the big bridal shows have these badges that you can get and you get scanned. So you can be entered into a lot of contests, which we did a contest. And also, you know, if you want to give someone your information, you know, that when you go to a bridal show, everyone's going to want your information. If they have to call you, if they send you an offer, they might send you an offer in the future. I know that we do Black Friday offers, we do contests. So now we have a whole bunch of emails because, you know, we scanned everyone. We did tell them that we were probably going to send them an email so they're not all bothered when they get stuff. But the good thing about it is because you don't have to sit there and write your name in every raffle ticket at every booth. If you are not sure if they're going to have the scanner, because most of the big bridal shows have it, the smaller ones really don't usually have those. Print yourself some labels. Print yourself some labels with your name, your date, your email address, your phone number. And this way, when you go to a booth and they're having a raffle, you can just peel and stick. You don't have to sit there. Another option is just bring your fiance and have him write everything out. You know, the funny thing is, I was always teasing couples that came through, like the bride will come in, you know, the first thing you get is a bag and she's carrying the bag. I'm like, by the end of this, your fiance better be carrying the bag. I'm trying to be sexist or anything, but the bag gets heavy, and you know, men are just usually typically stronger, and it's for your own benefit because you don't want a miserable fiance walking around with you through the whole thing. So just hold the bag for her. And then I tell the brides, you know, when they come through and their fiance's already holding the bag, I'll say to them, you know, you have a good one because he's carrying the bag for you. Yeah, so that's just another tip when you go through bridal shows. But we were one of the first booths, so a lot of people saw me giving directions. Have a plan, have a strategic plan. You could be there for 5 hours, which is great if you want to be there for 5 hours. But if you intend to be there for 1 hour, it's probably not going to happen unless you have a good strategy. So bring a pen, bring a notebook, and have a strategy, first of all, how you're going to walk the room. Because what happens is, you know, you can miss some aisles. So I was always telling people, come in, go all the way to one end, and then just go up and down, and don't change direction because you're going to miss people. The other thing is, like you get all these pamphlets and you might be interested when you're at the bridal show, but then when you get home, you have this big bag full of overwhelming stuff. And you forget like, who is this? What booth was this? What did they even do? Who did they talk to? Some people that don't have like good flyers, but you really like to talking to them. So either have a pen and write on their flyer directly, this is the person I talked to about pink charger plates, or have a notebook. And this way you know specifically who you had a conversation with, who you really wanted to get a hold of after the bridal show. Because like I said, you know, you go around the whole bridal show, all these booths, take all these pieces of paper, throw them in the bag, and you get home, you just either don't want to go through them, not in the mood, or you just really forget like which booth owned which flyer. So there's another tip for you. What else? The other thing is, the biggest advice I can give you is, this is your one place that you don't have to go around driving around to all these meetings. You can have your meetings right there very quickly, but talk to people. I say this whether or not you're going to a bridal show or I'm sending you out to go see somebody. You're looking for a photographer, videographer. You might love their photos, but I'm going to tell you right now that you need to spend a whole day with these people. I'm sorry, I'm a big believer. I don't care if your stuff is amazing. You need to be able to deal with these people all day long at your wedding or even throughout your planning process. And if you can't stand to have just a 5-minute conversation with them at a photo booth, at a bridal show, chances are you are not going to want to be hiring them. So get a little bit of experience of how the company is by talking to them at the bridal show. And you know, you can do it in 2 minutes instead of making an appointment with them and sitting there for an hour. Now, you do get more if you make an appointment, but you know, that little conversation will lead you hopefully to making an appointment. So anybody, if you have any questions about bridal shows, go ahead, shoot. We are going to do question and answer period today. It's question and answer period. So I missed doing Wedding Wednesday. I love it. I used to do it every week, but right now we're going to be doing it once a month. So if you like watching, just stay tuned, and because I always post, you know, next week we're going to have Wedding Wednesday, and we're going to have way more giveaways. I'm so excited about all the giveaways we're going to have. You don't need to be a bride to win. We are giving away, if you saw our contest this week, we will be giving away, and I'm going to do random picker for the first time on my computer here later. it's a blissful board. It's charcuterie board, but this is in a box, and it's a nice gift. It's a nice gift for so many things. We were promoting on our little post there that you can have it for your bridesmaids in the morning at your wedding. You want to pick on something. You can give every bridesmaid a little box with their name. The stuff inside there was so delicious. But I would totally recommend that, even for you want to ask a sponsor, you want your kid to ask their sponsor, will you be my sponsor? You can write on it. Or when you're going to present it to someone, you go to their house, will you be my bridesmaid? It's a great idea. Also, you can contact Blissful Board Catering, Dot Catering, for large charcuterie boards. She does them on the wood. It's beautiful. I've been to a few parties where she's done them, and they just look amazing. You don't even want to touch them, but then the food actually tastes good. It doesn't just look good. And so that's something you consider for your luncheons and for your engagement parties, for your rehearsal nights, and for when people come to your house. A lot of time you don't have a luncheon, but you have to provide most of the time. People come to your house before the ceremony. You feed them, so it's very good. Some stuff to pick up. Let's see. Is it okay to take pictures of booths, like to remember when? Okay. So, etiquette for bridal show. Is it okay to I would ask. I would always ask. Even when I go to stores, I ask, is it okay if I take a picture? Because some might say no. Although they're out there in the open anyway for all the other vendors to see, so I don't see why they would say no. They've probably already posted on their Instagram as well. So I don't see anything wrong with taking pictures, but the etiquette would be to ask. Just like when you want to rub a pregnant lady's belly, you don't just do that. You'd ask. That's just some etiquette there. I see a lot of hellos. If there are any other questions about bridal shows, because I have some questions here that were sent to me earlier, which I love. So we're gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna send little posts for you guys to send me questions. I feel like I have a sneeze in my nose. Okay, if you have any questions, just shoot. Hopefully I don't miss them. And if I miss them, just ask again, because the screen just keeps scrolling up and I cannot reach the phone to go down to check the questions. We are lucky that I can still read them. I'm getting old. Speaking of getting old, I will be posting soon. I am turning the 40 this year. Yes, it's this year in May. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I am doing a charity event. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a behavior therapist. I used to work with kids with autism, and I did behavior therapy, ABA, and it's very close to my heart. I wanted to donate. We did this for my husband's birthday too. So we're selling tickets, and I just really wanted to celebrate with all the people I work with, whether they were clients of mine or people in the industry. So I wouldn't say it's a work night, but if you want to meet or hang out with some photographers and videographers and other planners and florists, chances are a lot of them will be my birthday party, and we will be raising money for Waves of Change for Autism. So I will put that post out whenever I get a chance to start doing that. Let's see. How do you become overwhelmed at the bridal show? How do you not become overwhelmed at bridal shows? How do you not become overwhelmed at the bridal shows? Well, I think a good idea, because I know you're going to get overwhelmed at home. I did see a lot of people walk in like, where do we start? Like I said, have a plan. They give you a map. Just be strategic. Go up and down. Give yourself, a few minutes for your conversations. I really think the 2-bag thing works. As mean as that might sound, nobody needs to know, but at least you know that like half of the things you grabbed that you probably weren't interested in will be in another bag that you don't have to go through. So already you've made your work less. But also, if you're going with a bunch of friends or your mom or whoever, don't tell anybody I said this, but maybe you guys can make like a code word that's kind of like, hey, we gotta go. Let's stop talking to this person in this booth. Because I think, like I was saying before, I started to say that you could be there for 5 hours, seriously, just talking to people. I didn't even see all the booths, and I was there for 3 days. I know I was working, but I tried to go visit people that I knew. And also they do a fashion show, and they do giveaways, and that takes about 2 hours of the show. So another tip is, if you're gonna go to a bridal show, try to go around the time of the fashion show. Like it's great to watch the fashion show, but factor in that if you're there for the fashion show, you're going to want to watch it. So you should add more time to your day if you're going to sit there for 2 hours and watch the fashion show, because you won't have any time to talk to anybody. Yeah, did that answer your question? Let's see. A lot of churches and about it's hiring outside singers. Every church is different. So Lisa Malatesta Opera Events, actually, there was a question, if you guys didn't see it, should I hire Elisa Malatesta? I did not respond to that. I didn't respond to any of them, so I'm responding to them tonight. That was the whole point of doing the Q&A. And Elisa Malatesta is a great opera singer. I've seen her at weddings, and she will sing at the hall, and she will sing at the church. So the question is, and I'm sure she can help me answer it, are there a lot of churches that don't allow outside singers? There are a lot of churches that don't allow outside singers. They have their own, I think they just don't want the headache of dealing with more professionals. And so, like, I know there's some churches that have their own, and those people, that's their living, and so they know that they're going to be working every weekend, and they don't want to take away from those people. They want to guarantee them their living, I guess you want to call it. So unfortunately, there are some churches that won't allow you to play with their people. But you can always do what I did and just tell them Grenville Pinto's your cousin, or Lisa's your cousin. Some of them might let you do that. But I would just say, see what your relationship is with the priest. Go talk to him, because there are churches that have rules, but then there are priests that are human, and they'll listen to, hey, my cousin's a really good singer, and I want her to sing the wedding. So, if they're worried about your cousin sucking, that's your problem, not their problem. And I have been to some churches that I wasn't impressed with the singers, so it works both ways. Met you at the Bridal show. You were so, oh, hi. What does that say? Stephanie? I can't see. Oh my God. It was nice meeting you too. I sent out a full email blast today, and hopefully you got it. So, just do me a favor and respond. This way I know if you got it. I want to know if it's working. Let's see. Haha, that is true. Yes. Hi, Rose. It was great to see you on the weekend. Oh, I'm so glad so many of you came. Officiant. Oh, Brian, how are you? Okay, Brian's the best. And if you need an officiant, call Brian. And if you can't find Brian, then call me, and I'll help you find Brian. He's done a lot of weddings with me. He's very patient. I think the last one we did together, the flower girl just took off and ran down the aisle before we were ready to start, and we were waiting for someone to take care of one of the maid of honor's baby, and then the groom was up at the front sweating, and he was very good. He's very let's talk about officiants for a second. Try to get someone who is personable. Again, talk to them. Like, you don't need to go to an officiant and then have him recite everything to you he's going to say. But when you have a conversation with them, you'll know that, a good officiant is, knows how to use a microphone, can speak to people, not just to the paper, but also they have a little bit of personality, a little bit of, they're a little comical when they do their ceremonies. It doesn't always have to be so serious. And so he's really great. Love communicating with people I work with, because for me, I always say, it's like, just like they say when you raise a child, it takes a village. It takes a village to have a great wedding, including all your family members. But if your professionals that work together are not working together, it's not a fun time, let me tell you. Let's see. So nice meeting you. Nice meeting you too. I'm going to go through all these comments later if I can't read them all right now. Do you also do a week of wedding or a day of wedding? Yes, I do. If you go to my website, www.theboostedbox.com. Actually, we just did a new website. I'm so excited because there's a lot of weddings on there you can go look at. All the weddings on there I've done. And probably Brian's in some of those pictures. We did have a week of package. Although I took it out, and the reason why I took it out is because the day of package is like a week anyway. We meet a week before, and we go through everything. And for the whole week, I'm pretty much working for you anyway. I'm sending emails out. I'm sending itineraries out. I'm contacting all your vendors. I am looking at your contracts. I am letting you know if there's anything you missed. So there was no point in me having a weekend package. It was the same thing, and I was just charging. It ended up being the same thing, and it cost more. So we just left it to a day of package. But what I would suggest, if you're debating, we do have a month of package, and the month of package for me is very much worth it because it allows me to be on your team a little earlier. If there's anything that's been missed or any fires that have to be put out, we have the time to do that. We don't have as much time a week before. There's been times where I've had to get a liquor license the week of. Liquor licenses take time. So we were in a panic, but we got it done. But I have done month of packages where a month before, the bride thought she ordered bars, but really what she ordered was bar backs. And I had to find her some bars for her wedding. So it was still stressful, but I do recommend getting full planning always because we are there from the get-go and we can maybe stop you from making some bad decisions. But I also do custom packages. So if you feel like a month is not enough, but full planning is too much and you don't need it, you just want some help the last few months because the last month is when everybody wants to meet with you, everybody wants your itinerary, everybody's emailing you, and everybody wants their money. So it's very helpful, I think, to do a month of package. Let's see, okay. It is important that you have chemistry with the officiant. Yes, see, exactly. Okay, is it considered taboo or a bad idea not to have a rehearsal dinner if you know most people won't stay? So the first question is, how do you know most people won't stay? If you're having a rehearsal at 9 o'clock, most people won't stay after, but then you should have a dinner beforehand. Most rehearsals are at night or they're around a time when people need to have dinner. And so I think it's etiquette to feed them. If you maybe can expand on your situation more, I can help you with that. That's what I got with the packaging with you. Yes. What I was going to say was I personally like attending, not just the rehearsal, but I like attending the rehearsal dinner because for me, many, many times, couples who are going to be together, like, a bridesmaid and usher, best man and maid of honor are going to be together on the day of have never met each other. Believe it or not, this happens. So a rehearsal night, when you're at the rehearsal and you're doing what you're supposed to do at the rehearsal, you don't really get a chance to chat and get comfortable with each other. For me, the dinner part of a rehearsal night really helps people to start creating a relationship for the day. Start to get to know each other. They're at dinner, they're cracking jokes with each other, they get used to each other, they learn each other's names. And that's another benefit of having a rehearsal dinner, I think. Perfect, I'll be on to you, so excited. Oh, yay! Getting married in November. Nice. Okay. Do you talk about seating plan? Did I talk about seating plans already? No, I haven't gotten there yet. Was it your question? Yes, it was your question. I actually wrote down who asked the question. So I'm going to go to these questions right now. If some questions come in, I will check them out. Let's see here. Yeah, great. What? Point about rehearsal dinner, right? That's why I go, so I'm sure it helps a lot of people. Okay, so since I don't know your names, so I'm going to say your Instagram name. And sorry if I pronounce them wrong, but they're Instagram names. Let's see. So Marinol3 or Marinol3, the question you sent was 2 questions. What is the best number of people around a table? So if we're talking about a round 60-inch table, for me the best number of persons, is that how you say it, is 8. These tables are supposed to fit 8 to 10, but you have to keep in mind if you're going to have charger plates that they take up a lot of room at the table. So you don't want to put 10 people at a table. The other thing is, keep in mind which venue you go to. There's many venues I go to that are older venues that tell me that tables fit 10 and they don't. And I feel like round table standards were probably not, I'm convinced they weren't 60-inch. One day I'm going to get a measuring tape for sure and prove it to the people that work there that it's not a standard size of what standard is today. So go to the venue, visit the venue, go see, the best advice I can give you is go to, on a Saturday to a venue that you've booked or you're looking at when there's a wedding set up or an event set up. That will help you to see how many people fit at a table. Okay? Also, there's more elbow room. But keep in mind, if you have 500 people at your wedding and they tell you that the room fits 500 people, don't put 500 people in a 500 person room. They always push it. They always push the number. That's 500 people with like 10 people at every table and probably hardly any room to push out your chair. You always want to keep your guests comfortable. But also, there's so many more options. There is a 72-inch table that fits 12 people. Again, keep in mind your charger plates if you're doing that. Because a lot of times if you have charger plates, things don't fit. You are going to have to remove the side plates. And I have had some weddings where the parents were very upset that there were no charger plates because where are you going to put your bread? And then the hall was arguing that the bread goes on the charger plate, which you can do, but keep these things in mind. These are things that no one's going to talk to you about. I learned from having conversations with people. You know, I tell people all the time, you don't need to have a full wedding planner. You can plan your own wedding for sure. And you know, and then people say to me, well, my sister's going to help or my aunt's going to help. I don't really think that people get what a proper wedding planner or wedding coordinator does. Even people in the industry, they really don't get it. I'm not a decorator. I don't decorate. If you need me to put your centerpieces on the table, I can do that. No problem. But there's certain things that your aunt, your cousin, first of all, you want them to have a good time. You don't want them to do that. Also, they have to be at the ceremony, so they can't be at the hall. I don't think it's very nice to have them like miss your ceremony because you need them to go put centerpieces down for you. But that's your thing. They just are not educated in the little things that you need to ask or look for because they just don't have the experience. That's pretty much what it is. So that's why I really recommend trying to do more, like, you know, have a planner. But you know what? If you hire somebody for the week of, month of, these are things you can go over as well. If you hire them for the day of, these are things that I'm dealing with on the day of that I have to make the decision and say, guys, this looks bad. I've done it before. Take all these charger plates off. I don't care what the family's going to say about it. When they understand that nothing was going to fit here, no, people were not going to fit sitting here like this with the side plates. They're coming off. I wouldn't take charger plates off. I meant side plates. So, yeah. Then you just have to trust us to make decisions for you on the day of when you're not there. Let's see. Venetian is mine too. My venue is a Venetian. Do you have experience with their tables? Yes. I was there in December, and to be honest, we had the staff was really great. We had We had a big room for the amount of people that the bride had. So we purposely asked for 12-person tables and we would put 10 people there because with the chargers. And also keep in mind that if you're going to have a centerpiece that's tall, great. You know, the base of it is probably this small. But if you're going to have something like a wreath, which we had in December, which is beautiful, the wreath takes up the whole table. The other thing you have to remember, not many times does your florist, like the florist talks to the venue basically to say what time they're going to be there and they're dropping stuff or whatever they have to do if they have to store stuff. But not many times does the florist talk to the venue about the table, what's going on with the actual table. And, you know, once you put a wreath down at a table that's really made for 8, there's no room, not just for side plates. There's no room for bread. There's no room for wine. There's no room for water. There's no room for a table number. Yeah, it's very tight. And, you know, when you're planning your wedding, I would like you have to consider the weddings you've been to. Don't just think about, oh, I want this looks beautiful. Think about, how would I feel if I was a guest sitting at this table right now? Because that's what I do when I show up. I show up, I go look at the tables, I count the chairs, make sure they're all right, everything I gotta do. Sometimes I just go and I sit at a table and I say, this is not gonna work. These people are gonna be angry. This person's gonna hit that person. These people are gonna be like, what if this is a big person? You know what? You can't say 10 people. That's another thing when you're making your tables. Consider who's sitting there. Not to be, I mean, it is what it is. Some people are bigger than other people. So you have to not put 10 people at those tables if everybody is just a little bit bigger. You know, or you have to also consider if there's a wheelchair going in there or a high chair. They take up room. The other part of that question from All 3 was how to make seating planning less stressful. The answer to that for me is, well, if you have a bridal shower, first of all, you start off, you've already done half the work. So if you've had a bridal shower, look at the tables you made for the bridal shower, just add the husbands and then split up the tables. Should be a little more simple. But what I do recommend is most of the time you're going to see family members together. You might move cousins separate from parents after, like aunts and uncles and then cousins. But list all your families. Make an Excel list. Okay, make an Excel list and make it with the names and then the last name separate. Because you want to be able to alphabetize, and then you want to be able to sort it by table number as well once you do that. So someone asked, what kinds of charts do you need? How do you sort it on the chart? I always on the day of ask for both for the day of. And the hall needs it. Alphabetical and by table. Because, someone might come in, you might lost their seating card or forgot to put them on your chart. You have a backup. And they have to give you their last name in order to find them. When you get your responses back, you can use the same list, and it's easier to find people if you go alphabetical. And then you can sort that by table, because when someone comes in and says, "Oh, there's not enough seats at my table. Who's sitting at table 10?" Only that chart's going to give you that. So yes, start off with your shower. If you didn't have an event before, you didn't have a shower, I would say group all the families together. Write your list. Make some separations in between where you think you might cut people out. Put the extras on the end. Put friends together. And then, slowly, you will be able to sort it out and figure it out. And these days, a lot of people are doing long tables. So, you might not have to cut zia-rosa out of your table that can only fit 10 people. You might be able to get, the longer tables, the crescent, serpentine tables now. There's so many types of tables you could use. But I would just consider starting early. I already have it in your mind. Don't do it last minute. Don't do it the week before your wedding, 2 weeks before your wedding. I know you have to wait for responses, but you can kind of start to make your list, your layout, before you actually get responses. Think ahead, and then you can eliminate. It's easier to eliminate people than to try to fit people in. Yeah. So also when you're doing your floor plan, not just how you're seating people together, but where you're going to put them. A good idea, I use Excel, but a good idea if you really are a visual person is to, have some sticky notes with table 1, table 2, or their names on it, or, this is Zio Miko's table, this is Aunt Linda's table, whatever. For yourself to understand, have a big board, draw out, the plan of the hall, and you know what, you can move sticky notes around. It's easier, but always get a floor plan from the hall. If you tell them you have 45 tables, let them send you a floor plan, because they usually know best about what fits where. There's certain things that, again, a wedding planner or someone who works at a venue that can tell you that you would never think of, like leave more room around the bar. You can't put tables, closer to the bar. You have to leave extra space where the bar is. Leave a walkway from the kitchen so waiters can come through. Leave some space around the walls so they can put their stations. The waiters can put their stations out where they collect their plates. Leave a walkway from the doors that come in, because obviously you need to do your grand entrance, but even at the other door, people might end up using it if you have 2 doors to go to the bathroom. So many little things. Don't put people with hearing aids near a speaker. Try to put the party people near the bar. The older people like to be near the dance floor because they won't dance as much, but they like to watch, and it looks nice for pictures when you're taking pictures of people dancing and there's people seated around. Little things that you could think about. If you have a big hall and you're worried about not filling in, you have less people, you don't put tables so close to the corners. You don't put so many tables next to the head table. You leave that. There's many ways to maneuver your tables. I'm missing questions because I'm talking. So let's see. How far in advance do you need to speak to a bride about coordinating? I'm getting married in June. So to book a coordinator, well, I get this question all the time. How far in advance? It depends if you want me personally. I have three teams that go out. It's all about availability. So if you take your time booking someone like me, you might not get who you want. So the earlier the better. But I can do a wedding. If you book me the week before and I'm available, I can still do the wedding. All we have to do is sit down and have a 2-hour meeting, and I'm good. And I come to the rehearsal, and I'm good for the day. So there really isn't a timeline for me personally, the way I work. But obviously, everything that you need to book, the sooner the better, because that way you kind of have more of a choice of who you want, who you can get. How to seat family who don't talk to each other. European problems. Yes, I'm going to write a whole book about this. First of all, my first reaction is tell them to get over it. Secondly, is to tell them that it's not about them. But that's just me. I know that won't work. Well, it all depends on your floor plan. I mean, it's hard to just say keep them far apart, but keep them far apart. But don't stress yourself out that you have to put one here. The thing is, if you want to keep people far apart, if you put one, you're gonna offend somebody. Then they're your enemy, because if you put one close, like let's say one aunt doesn't talk to the other aunt, if you put one closer to your parents, then you gotta put the other one in the corner because they don't talk to each other. Well, that one's gonna get upset. Or if you want to put the other one, on the groom side, let's say you're the bride, and you want to put one family on the groom side, they're going to get upset because that's not their family. And why did this person get closer to the dance floor? Why did that person? What I would do is literally put their tables right beside each other. They don't have to sit together, but they can sit near each other. No one's going to die. No one has to fight. They don't even have to talk to each other. Like, they teach you this when you're a child. Go to school. You don't like people. You don't need to talk to them, but you don't have to start a fight. That's it. People need to just grow up. Get over it. Hopefully it's good advice. I don't know if you like that, but that's my advice. Thank you so much for these answers. No problem. You're welcome. When I got married, the hall sent me the floor plan, but the day of, the plan was actually shuffled over and not what was sent to us. Just say some family members weren't pleased or were pissed. Sorry for me to read. This is another reason why you have a planner. I'm sorry, but there are venues that will give you a floor plan, and they're not proportioned. You think they would have this down pat by now, but they're not actually proportioned. Like, the drawing is not proportioned to the size of the hall on the drawing. So when you go draw it, it doesn't. I'm curious to know which hall that is. Send me a message, because there are some halls I already know when I look at it. Don't look at this. Like, we're just gonna make our own. I've done it many times. Now you can avoid that too by going to an event there, walking in, counting how many tables they have, and seeing how it works. Now, shuffling 2 feet, I'm not gonna go move a table for 2 feet. But there's been many times I've gone, and especially when you're close to the head table, and this table's been moved, I've had major scraps with the hall, because they're like, oh, whatever, some of them, and I'm just like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. This is not your family. See, when I do weddings, especially if I plan the whole wedding, by the time it's their wedding, you guys are like my family. So I could tell you that I'm gonna fight for you the way if it was my own wedding. But you can't do that at 4:30 when you get there. It's kind of hard. I mean, you can. I've done weddings where I've said, nobody's coming in here. These tables have to move. I don't care. Take the tablecloth off, take all the plates off. If you can't lift it with the plates, we're doing it. Because I understand the misery of your aunt never letting you forget about it for the rest of your life or where you made her sit. What do you think of having the bridesmaids, boyfriend, significant other sitting next at the head table? I think it all depends on how you have the head table set up. Me personally, I like the uniformity of bridesmaids and ushers, so I wouldn't do it. Just because I like the look of, you've picked these bridesmaid dresses, you picked flowers, all the colors kind of have to go together, but and they kind of mess it up when they sit there. That's really not important, but I mean, it's just the way it's gonna look different. It's gonna look different in the video, in the pictures, if they don't match with what's going on at the head table. But I've had many weddings where they do sit at the head table, or they'll buy a dress that compliments on purpose. They've had this discussion because we've had a discussion with the bride, or the bridal party is actually just the bride and groom at the head table, and the bridal party is just sitting to the side with their families or their significant others. So it's doable. It's been done. Missed question above. Yes, Melissa. She does help plan bridal showers. Yes, I do. Sorry, it's hard to talk and read. 19 years ago though. Oh. Yeah. Well, we don't badmouth places on this. If you want to private message me, we can have conversations about venues and other professionals, but I don't like to badmouth anybody live on this or in my stories. I don't like that. People have bad days, so I don't like to do that. Is it too much to do an engagement and a bridal shower? No, it's not too much. I did it. If they're like a month apart, I probably wouldn't do it, but usually an engagement is a good 6 months before a bridal shower. And I think it's something to celebrate, so why not? It doesn't have to be as big as a wedding. You don't want it like that, but I'm for engagement parties. I will hire you and Giuseppe for sure. Are you engaged? Who is that? Ivy. I've seen your name before. Wait a minute. Okay. Would you recommend a sweetheart table, a long table to fit at the bridal party or on the stage? Did I write that? Did I read that right? Hey, sweetheart. I like when it's just the bride and groom at the top. I know you want to maybe have conversation with your best man, your maid of honor, but you know what? You've been talking to your best friend or your sister your whole life. This is where you have to get used to sitting down and talking to the same man for the rest of your life. No, I like it. I like when they're up there and they're the focal point, and it leaves room for more decor and more space on the stage, and the podium's there. Sometimes the cake is right on the stage. So I'm a big fan of the sweetheart table. I don't know if I answered your question properly. Would you recommend? Oh, that's that one. Okay. Beautiful backdrop. Okay. How many speeches is good? Typically, you have the best man, then you have the maid of honor, and the bride and groom. We have good more than that. My dad wants to talk, my mom wants to talk, my brothers want to talk. Not a big fan of more speeches than that, but if it has to be put in the schedule, we make it work. Just make sure if you're going to have all the speeches that they're not long and the people are entertaining people, because and they're not repeating each other. Like if your mom's going to go up and then your dad's going to talk separately and they're both saying the exact same thing. I know it's for you and it's your wedding, but you're going to lose people. People are not going to keep listening. It's just the way they are. And I can only do so much going around to shush people. I usually like to shut down the bars during speech because I find that people are really rude, and when they go to the bar, for sure that's where they're making the most noise. So, yeah. So, I mean, it would be great if the best man and maid of honor did a speech together, because that would save a lot of time. Let's see. How far in advance do you want wedding info from your brides? I forgot to send you info about the day, but not sure if it's too early. You can send it whenever you like. We will make our meeting before your wedding, and then we will go over everything. So as long as we have everything, the latest the week before. I mean, if I depends on your package. Can't remember what you have right now, but depends on your package and what I have to do for you. The more time, obviously, the better. If we start to do an itinerary, I mean, I did an itinerary for April already, like a few months ago. But if you do stuff like that, things are. Just keep in mind that things might change. It's not going to be put in stone. An itinerary, never for me. I never send it out till the week of to all the other vendors. And sometimes they get it like on the Wednesday, Thursday, because things change. We know that they always change. Is it necessary to have a stage for a sweetheart table? Don't like the stage. It depends on your venue. If you have a huge hall, I would recommend it, only because you might get a little lost. If you are going to do a stage, please cover it with, not cloth, with the vinyl for the flooring. It just looks amazing. If you go into my stories or on my website and you look up Tina and the wedding I did in September, the stage looked beautiful wrapped. So, I mean, but if it's a smaller venue, like if you're at the fermenting cellar, if you have a smaller wedding, if you go to, there's certain venues that I don't like, I would never do a stage, like the doctor's house. It's nice to have it low with all the windows behind. So it just depends on your venue, to be honest. When's the best time for the first dance? What about mother, son? Okay, so we will sit down and do an itinerary, but typically the first dance happens right when you walk in. And then the parent dances we like to do during dinner, because people are actually paying attention and they're not interrupting your dance. Love my blouse. Thanks. I just took it out of my closet today. The back is even better. It's got all this lace and it like hangs in the back. It's one of those tops every time I put on, I take it off again. Why? Today I'm like, I'm wearing this. Okay, so I only answered two questions from that you guys sent me earlier. So No, I did what's the best way to organize your guest list. We answered that. And the timeline for booking. So we answered a few of these. What is the etiquette for tipping a small vendor? And they wrote on $300. And that comes from Mans8282. Tipping. Let's talk about tipping. I am for tipping. I'm not against tipping. I do think that tipping was meant for a purpose. Whoever invented tipping really liked the service and thought, hey, I think you deserve more than what you charged me. So I'm not a fan of this is what you owe me plus tip, because I mean, if you do a shitty job, I don't see why you should get a tip. It is not frowned upon to not give. Does that make sense? It's not frowned upon to not give a tip for all your vendors. It's not frowned upon. It's not like, oh my God, why didn't she give me a tip? The only people you're going to get that from is drivers, just because it's the nature of like cabs and Uber, like everybody gets a tip. It's like not tipping a waitress. A lot of limo companies will tell you how much to tip. I mean, you can say, oh, don't tell me what to tip. But it also, you know what, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to tip wrong, like, oh my God, maybe I didn't tip enough, you feel embarrassed. I prefer that if you're expecting a tip and you tell me how much your tip is and we just get it all over with and I know what I got to pay you from the beginning. I've had many moments where the bride tips like $100 to the limo guy, which I think is sufficient. I'm sure the guy's getting paid for the day. I don't know. People might not agree with me. But the guy literally like came into the hall. He's like, that all you're tipping me? I'm like, buddy, do you think I have nothing else to do right now? I'm in the middle of trying to run a wedding. Like, nobody tipped me for driving around all day. I feel like saying to him, I didn't say that, but I'm just like, I've had limo drivers literally not want to come pick up the bride because they needed to get paid at the first stop. I mean, you know what? If you sign a contract and there's rules, you should follow them, okay? That's one thing I have to say. But come on, like I said, we should all be working as a team here. I've had people like, the money's at the bride's house. Just go there, get the bride, she'll give you the money. I've had fathers have to leave like right after church to go to the bank and get money because otherwise the limo driver wouldn't drive them to their pictures. Like, it's ridiculous. Now, again, I'm going to say it so I don't get people from the industry getting mad at me. I'm going to say it. If you signed a contract and it says right there in the contract, payment on first stop, tip this amount, you know what I mean? If you don't agree with that, then you shouldn't be signing a contract in the first place. Please read what you sign and then don't complain about it after, and please follow the rules so nobody feels embarrassed having to chase you for money. That's my advice. What is the best time for the... Okay, we said that already. Wow, I can't believe that happens. Yes, it does. Guys, I swear it's my dream and my goal to one day be able to have a camera right here or right here. That might look stupid, but right there. Like a GoPro on me all day and have a behind the scenes show. If any of you guys have any hookups with shows, networks, TLC, whatever it is, that can hook me up on Follow the Wedding Planner all day show behind the scenes, that'd be like the funniest, most entertaining show you will ever watch. I'm telling you. I have done things and seen things that we could take another hour to talk about. Not a good limo company if it's happening. You know what? I can't say good or bad limo company. I have called bosses and complained. But, you know, the problem is also that people make rules for themselves at their business because they've been screwed too. And unfortunately it happens. I've had a lot of people not like me when I walk in just because I'm a wedding planner, because some other wedding planner has been in their business and has told them what to do and they didn't like it. So people change their prices and their policies because of their experience. Like I said, if it's written in the policy, in the contract, that's what it is. Too bad, you should follow it. Unfortunately, you know, there's been times where I'm sure bride and groom have been dropped off at the hall. Sorry, buddy, I don't have money for you. The guy did work all day long and he gets no money. Like, that's not right either. I'm for the bride and I'm for the businesses. You need a show. Yeah, thanks. How many extra people should you add to final numbers for guests that don't RSVP but show up? Well, where are you from? Are you from my husband's town? And my husband, like a lot of his pies, like people from his town, they will put like 2 extra empty tables in case people show up. Now, I've only had that happen a couple times. I find that very bad etiquette. I've made many posts joking about if you don't reply, you're sitting in the kitchen and eating. No one's making a plate for you. It's very rude. But if you know your family's like that, we usually put out like 2 tables with, but you're paying for those 20 plates. They don't show up. That's going to be your problem. Put down when booking this. Read the fine print. Exactly. Do all halls have a safe where you can keep your boosters? No. When you're booking a hall, if this is very important to you, they don't all have a safe. Ask. You can't just assume that they all have things that you need. There are some venues that'll put the stuff in their office safe. There are some venues that you just are gonna have to lock them up. I've had to hide boosters underneath couches, behind couches, underneath stuff, and then lock the door. And then one person has a key; no one else is allowed in there. I have seen people fill up a duffel bag, get a lock it to one of the legs of the tables, and have their grandmother sit there and watch it all night. I've had people take the boostas and run to the bank, or bring it to their house, or bring it back to the hotel safe. That kind of messes with the timeline. But have a discussion and have a plan. This is something we talk about when we have our meeting a week before your wedding. What are you doing with your boostas? Do you have a plan? Do you have a safe? Are you bringing bank bags to seal them so you can count them properly? These are things we talk about. The best safe is putting the boosters under the, see? Okay, it's almost at o'clock. We can talk all night. I'm going to get to these questions that I promised, and then I'm going to tell you guys who the winner is of this. Hopefully it works. Of the Blissful board. So, the vendor we talked about, tip. Have you ever had to deal with a bride or groom that had cold feet? Ooh, last question. Have you ever had to deal with a bride or groom that had cold feet on the wedding day? This is from EKULLR. I think I spelled that right. Have I ever had to deal with cold feet? Honestly, I've never had a bride or groom look at me and say, I can't do this, I gotta go. I have looked at brides and grooms myself and turned to my assistant and said, I don't see this going very far. These two shouldn't be getting married. It's not my place to say stuff like that to people. But these are issues that if you hire me as a full wedding planner, that we get to before we get to the day. I have straight out said to people, are you sure you want to get married? Are you sure you're not doing this for your parents? And if they turn to me and say, yeah, I'm sure, done. I'm not going to ask again. We're just going to keep doing the work we got to do. But, there's been times where I can see it in their face on the day of or during the planning process. But I'm the type of person, you know what? It's usually like the morning of, and I know people are nervous, but nervousness doesn't look like the same as worry, I guess. And there's been times where I've seen stress in the morning. In the morning is the craziest time. The bride's getting ready. There's like 10 people in the bedroom. 2 photographers, 2 videographers, mom, me, assistant. It's crazy time. And I've seen like on the bride's face, and she's just not there. And I'll throw everybody out of the room for 5 minutes. I don't care. I don't care what has to be done, because we are not going to keep taking pictures if you have misery on your face. There are some photographers who will just keep going. Oh my God, the bride was so hard to deal with. I couldn't get any good smiles out of her. No. I will take everybody out. I will pull the bride aside and I'll say, do you need 5 minutes? Do you need to talk about anything? It's just me here. It's something we need to talk about. Anything. Do you need a shot? Many times you're like, yeah, I need a shot. Go get me a shot of vodka. Whatever. I need my cigarette. I need my whatever. Lots of things I've had to deal with. And sometimes it's just like these underwear are wedged so far up my butt, I can't reach them. Like, I need somebody. And they just don't want to say it. So, you know, sometimes it's nothing. It's something that can be fixed in 2 seconds. So, you might as well save all your pictures so you don't look back like, oh my God, look at my face. I was like just thinking about how I needed water, you know. We don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. So, but there's been many times where I joke. If I'm telling you this joke on your wedding day, think about why I might do that. I mean, I do it all the time. But I've gone, you know, I've been to ceremonies and I'll go into the back and the guy is, you know, in the back, the groom's in the back by himself and he's pacing and I'm like, so are we doing this today? The window's there, the door's there. Like, I joke around because I never know if one day they're going to be like, yeah, bye. And you know what? I'd rather them go. I would rather them go, and I would panic, but I'd rather them go and have to be the one to break the news to people than watch two people get married that shouldn't be getting married. So that is the end of that. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. It's never happened. My record I don't think anybody's been divorced yet of all the weddings I've done in the past 7 years, unless I just don't know about it. So we're on a good run. Yeah, escape route. Okay, so yay planner. What did you say? Oh yeah, just a jack of all trades. Don't give all my secrets away. Okay, I am going to try, because I used to just write everybody's name down and then pull out your name from a raffle. But I'm going to do it in these random picker thingies. And hopefully it works. Is my computer plugged in? Because then we're going to have a problem. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. So, let's see here. Okay. So, I just want to show you that I'm on free Instagram giveaway random picker thingy. This one's called Sorteos. Okay, let's see if it works. So, let's press start. Does it work? No, I don't want to run a test. No, we're going to start, okay? We're going to start. So, good luck. This is going to be the winner of the Blissful Board box. And if you do win, you can contact me or you can contact Shirley directly at blissfulboards.catering, okay? Start. Loading. Let's see. I can't even see. Is it going? Oh, it's loading. Yay! I'm doing it right. I tested it. I swear, I tested it yesterday. Time left 6 minutes. 6 minutes? Didn't take that long yesterday. It's not going to take 6 minutes. We can keep talking until it shows up. Can you guys see the screen? I know it's kind of bright. Is this going to take 6 minutes for real? I didn't think it was going to take that long. Okay, you guys can ask me another question if you want. What else do you want to talk about? I'm going to post about my birthday very soon. There's another event, if you guys want to come to it, on March 7th. It's Joe and Mary's wedding. If you guys were around for Tony and Tina's wedding, it was so much fun. You go to a wedding and there's actors and they're playing like the mother and the father, and there's people sitting at your table that you don't know are actors. It's so much fun. And Giuseppe will be there. My husband Giuseppe the MC is part of it. Let's see. Almost there. Something else I want to talk about. January, February is open house month. So if you're thinking about booking a venue, go see it. Go to an open house because you get to try their food. Let's see. What happened? Oh my God, it's still loading. Minute. That was only loading my names. Okay. Okay. Now what? Confirm the options before continuing. Give me a second. I did this yesterday. It works. I promise. Oh, confirm. There we go. One we want. Okay. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So you see, we want one winner. And we were going to exclude the duplicates. No, we're not going to exclude the duplicates. Okay. Confirm. Okay, now I'm pressing start. I promise. Look, start button there. This one's fast. took long because it was loading them all. 5, 4, 3, 2. It's backwards, but I'll tell you who it is. Lilulu. Lilulu, I will message you too. You are the winner of the Blissful Board box. And there's 20 seconds remaining. So I'm going to say congratulations. Good night. I will see you a month from now, and I will post and let you know when we're having Wedding Wednesday. Happy planning to all of you. I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. I really love you guys. Good luck with everything.